We already have 3 Transformers films under our belts, and it's created this sound genre that you see being reproduced in other films and is being referenced even in music and dubstep. And for us, the challenge was, okay, how do we still embrace this kind of Transformers genre, but also try different things?
What can we do differently and fresh about the next installment of Transformers that is going to set it apart from the past experiences? And he's continually raised the bar on every level in this film.
Globally, I think the biggest thing that we really tried to mix up in this film was how to play with the abstractness of sound design. The way I think about sound design is that it really is an abstract art. And what you're hearing is often or usually not at all what you're seeing. And Transformers is kind of the perfect canvas for being abstract and using things that are totally different. The film opens in space. You see some kind of mysterious things floating through space. For the sound of those, we actually went to some of the sound recordings done by the Galileo spacecraft. And it picked up all of these amazing sounds like the electrical fields of Jupiter, the sound of passing through these different fields and picking up all of the static electromagnetic energy from the outer solar system. And there's some haunting, eerie sounds. Audiences will notice that Optimus is kind of in bad shape when he's introduced in this film. And so we didn't want to use the same kind of semi-truck recordings that we've recorded in the past. We wanted to have a fresh palette for him. So one of our editors, George Pereira, tracked down this monster truck, which was used in rally races. And so they went out to, I believe it was Willow Springs, to record a whole set on this monster truck. And it's got just this great, gnarly quality that was a wonderful way to reintroduce Optimus. There's a new character who's a bounty hunter named Lockdown. And we're kind of trying to figure out sort of Sonic's signature for him, something that was menacing. And at one point we kind of stumbled upon the idea, well, what if we pay homage to one of the most classic sound effects in film, which was created by Ben Burt for Darth Vader.
A lot of the times Lockdown was behind a mask. The first time we see him, he's surfacing up through the water. I thought, well, this is perfect. Let's just kind of go with a suction vacuum kind of vibe and kind of tipped its hat to the archetypal villain in cinema, it seems like, and it seemed to stick, and we went with it. It's great.
The Pagani is the character of Stinger, and he's one of the protos, which are these prototypes developed by KSI, which is run by Billionaire, played by Stanley Tucci. And we wanted them all to have this kind of corporate feeling to them. So we actually designed a bunch of Sonic corporate logos you'll hear peppered around these protos. Fans with a discerning ear should keep those ears open when they hear the film, because we've planted a few little Easter eggs from little homages to the original Transformers from the 80s. One of them is the original Transformers sound, which has been very much an inspiration for us through all of the films. It's the classic so listen for that. And we've also paid homage to the original theme song as well, the More Than Meets the Eye. So pay attention, you'll hear those in there.
This was a mix where we were really under the gun because there was a lot of pressure because of a deadline and because of the visual effects coming in late. When you have this huge sound coming at you constantly for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day. And I'm not joking about that.
A lot of this film was shot on location in China. So it was a brand new location for Michael, and production recorder is Peter Devlin, who did a great job, had all sorts of challenges. They were up on top of buildings, they were on the streets. So a lot of practical locations, a lot of running through the streets. And so it was difficult for him. And when we got to post-production, he had called me, actually came and visited me and warned me that we would have our hands full. But it all turned out fine. We had not much ADR, mostly production, and the film was constantly changing and being previewed, and so we had our hands full.
Michael likes music. We all like music, and these kind of films, again, because they're for kids, families, you need something, just a thread to sort of keep everybody going. And what's great about Steve is he loves to be able to integrate his score with the sound design of Ethan and Erik's sound effects and Greg Russell's mixing of the sound effects. Erik will sit there and cut a sound effect to be in rhythm with the music, which gives it that extra level of coolness.
This is the first movie for us to mix native Atmos, which was very exciting for me personally. From obviously panning and having that kind of resolution in panning was very cool. But more importantly, the bass management in the ceiling, when I pan a robot from front to back, or if he lands in the surrounds, the weight of him, I could never carry that weight to the back. Now I can, which was pretty exciting.
One of my favorite sound moments in the film, it's actually a spectacular Dolby Atmos moment. And we have this giant alien ship come in that has this ability to magnetize and suck up anything that's metal. And so using Atmos, we're actually able to create this feeling of sound pulling you up into the ceiling in these waves and ripples.
I ended up experimenting with tons of different electrodes and electrical types of source material. Ended up completely in a synthesized version of just modulated square waves and triangle waves that I processed to a point that kind of gave me this little static charge, and then also had the support and the weight underneath that would be representative of the force that is capable of tearing a city from the ground up.
It's a lot of low end. It's a good reason to go see it in a theater and not watch it on your laptop, once it comes out on Blu-ray, because it's something that you feel in your whole body.
We really want the audience to embrace any of these new sound formats and sort of look for that when they're looking in the newspaper or buying a ticket online. We want them to say, hey, let's go see this in Atmos, let's see this in IMAX. We want them to really engage and participate in the sound of the film that they're going to be watching. And if there's any film that you participate with sound, this one is crazy cool. This is a very dynamic, full, balls to the wall experience of sound.